Breaking. The IRS soon could have the ability to see practically every United States citizen's bank accounts and transactions without any court order or your consent. This is the Exposing Truth channel. I'm your host, Evan Heath. Here on the Exposing Truth channel, we believe there is a war in our culture today and a growing movement to destroy the foundational Judaic-Christian morals and values in America that America not only was founded on, but makes America great. So if you're new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe to join us in the fight for truth, and please make sure to like and share this video with your friends, and check us out on all of our social media platforms, and also make sure to comment with your questions right down below. Alrighty, now we have and will continue to talk about a whole range of topics on this channel, and we'll continue to expose the truth, not only with the legislation and stuff that's happening on the federal level down in Washington, but also the battle that is going on in your hometown, in your state house, and in your courthouses. We will tell you the truth, and we will tell you that the effects that the legislation and laws that are being passed, trying to be passed in Congress right now, and the effects that they can have on real people. And we will also expose the movement that is trying not only to destroy your freedom and liberty, but we'll also expose the movement to destroy the founding principles that we are forgetting as a nation, and that allows us to have that liberty and freedom that we hold on to so dear. So just a few weeks ago, a new part or a proposal has just come out very recently to be added as a new part to the Democrats' $3.5 trillion spending bill, which in later videos and in later podcasts and broadcasts we will continue to discuss just how much this could impact just with inflation and how bad this could be to the economy. So we'll get later into that. We'll get into more details about this bill later on. But recently, an absolutely new, absurd new part that's trying to be added, that's trying to be proposed to be added to this new to this $3.5 trillion spending package, which would make it legal potentially for the Internal Revenue Service to monitor transactions in all bank accounts in the United States. Let me say that one more time. If this new law would be passed by Congress, if this new law would be passed by Congress and signed by the President Joe Biden, if that would be passed by Congress, this bill would allow the IRS to monitor and potentially even have control over all United States bank accounts and transactions. And as most people, again, should be thinking right now, this is absolutely ridiculous and absurd. And again, it's not only constitutional, but would set up one of the most dangerous presidencies that we've ever had in United States history. And I want to say that again. Just get a little bit more into detail exactly what this would do. This would allow a corrupt federal agency that will be able to monitor almost every single American's bank accounts and transactions. I just want that to settle into your mind just for a second. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, that's known for being corrupt, to be able to see every single transaction that you make in your bank account. This is absolutely insane. This is absolutely absurd, and this is blatantly unconstitutional. They're not trying to hide this. They're being open about this. They're supporting this. You can see this in the media. You can see this in Congress. They are open about this, that they want to do this. And this would set up a very dangerous precedent in our country that has never been done before. This is blatantly and dangerously unconstitutional. And I want to get more into detail how this is blatantly unconstitutional. As it says in the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. So this would unconstitutionally, this completely violates the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. This is not a court order. This would set up a dangerous precedent that would allow the Internal Revenue Service to search into your bank accounts without your consent and without a court order, which the Fourth Amendment in the United States Constitution requires. This is illegal, this is unconstitutional, this is unprecedented, and this is very dangerous. I want you just to think about this. In the United States of America, where there's freedom, the freest nation of the world, we are allowing the Internal Revenue Service to search in every American's bank accounts. This is completely unconstitutional. This is completely illegal. And luckily, there has been huge backlash on both sides, both on the Republican side and also Democrat side. But before I get to that here in just a moment, this is what Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary Janet Yellen, in a letter wrote to the Ways and Means Committee of Congress supporting this new act. This is what she said in her letter to Congress. I deeply appreciate Chairman Wyden and Chairman Neal's leadership on reconciliation, and in particular, and again, this is referring to the $3.5 trillion spending package, and this new proposal of the IRS looking into Americans' bank accounts. So this is what she's referring to. On the need to close the tax gap under the current system, American workers pay virtually all their taxes, bills, while many top earners avoid paying billions in their taxes they owe by exploiting the system. At the core of the problem is a discrepancy in the ways types of income are reported to the IRS. Opaque income sources frequently avoid scrutiny, while wages and federal benefits are typically subject to nearly full compliance. This two-tier tax system is unfair and deprives the country of resources to fund core priorities. Today's new proposal reflects the administration's strong belief that we should zero in on those at the top of the income scale who don't pay taxes they owe, while protecting American workers by setting the bank account's threshold at $10,000 and providing an exception for wage earners like teachers and firefighters. We will continue to work with leaders in Congress to enact this important new measure to level the playing field for workers and small businesses and raise revenue to build our economy back better. So her reason in this letter for proposing this new measure, and I want to emphasize on this. I want to emphasize so our listeners and our viewers across all of our platforms can realize what this would do. This would arm the IRS to search through Americans' bank accounts and transactions. Now, it was anywhere from over $600. So if you would spend over $600 a month, that would be the threshold that would allow the IRS to look into your bank accounts, over $600. But because of the backlash from both sides, they have upped that to $10,000 a year, which really doesn't even make it any better. And almost all American family households, they spend over $10,000 a year just in groceries. So just think, the IRS will know every single grocery that you bought from Walmart, every single transaction that you took, if you would spend over $10,000 a year. Just let that settle in. So her reason for this, for the average American that spends over $10,000 a year just on groceries, just on clothes, just on basic needs, just on basic needs to live, basic necessities, they're allowing the IRS to look into your bank accounts. And again, like I keep saying, I want to emphasize this. This is unconstitutional, this is unprecedented, and this is very dangerous. So her reasons for supporting this new measure in this letter that I just read is to help monitor and catch millionaires and billionaires who are cheating in the tax system. So even if that would justify this, which it doesn't, it's still unconstitutional. Like I said before, an outright illegal power grab that is given to the IRS to monitor the average day U.S. citizens' bank accounts. So her reason in this letter for her supporting this new act, this dangerous, unprecedented act in this new spending package that the Democrats want to pass. Her reasons for this is to help catch millionaires and billionaires. But I just want to say this is not to help catch millionaires and billionaires. If this was to catch millionaires and billionaires, the threshold would be in the millions and in the billions. But no, it's just $10,000 a year. If you, as an average everyday U.S. citizen, spend over $10,000 a year on everything, it could be clothes, it could be groceries, it could be bills, it could be credit card bills, anything. If that goes over $10,000 every year, the IRS will know about everything that you have spent and put into your bank account that year. So her reasons for supporting this measure did not add up. And even if they did add up, they still do not justify what they are trying to do. It is completely unconstitutional. It is completely outright and blatantly wrong. And it will set up a very dangerous precedent that will continue to give power to government. And that is communism, my friends. That is communism. America If 20 years ago people saw what is happening right now, people would be outraged. But this is not being told in the mainstream media. This is not. And luckily, it's good to see that people are crying out against this. And this has a very good chance of not passing. Praise the Lord. It's wonderful. But again, just the fact that this is being supported, just the fact that this is being proposed, just shows you how corrupt our government, our federal government, has become. And the power grab that the federal government is trying to give to the IRS. So again, like I said, both Republicans and Democrats are completely against this. And this is actually what Senator Joe Manchin actually said in an interview just a few days ago about this new proposal.
Well, some people think that you can pick up a lot of revenue by having more IRS agents to enforce the laws, but that didn't seem to get very far. Is that
well? There's going to be the IRS is going to be able to do the job that they should be doing, and they're going to be able to modernize their computer systems and be able to do what they're intended to do. They were never enabled to go into bank accounts to the point to the average individual. And I told him, the president, I had this conversation. I said, Mr. President, I don't know who put this out and how it got screwed up. When they said basically we're going to start looking at $600 transactions, even if it's $10,000, okay, that's only $800, $900 a year. And I said, do you understand how messed up that is? To think that Uncle Sam's going to be watching Trent and what it does for bankers and this and that. And I told him, I said, Mr. President, I don't know what happened. This cannot happen. It's screwed up.
So what can we, as liberty-loving Americans, what can we do to not only defend our freedoms that we have as a nation, to not only defend our freedoms, to not only defend the liberty that we have given as a nation, but how can we get involved in this battle in our culture today? And how can we get involved really in the battle for truth that our nation is facing today? Well, first of all, we must contact our legislators, both in Congress, both in the federal government, but also in the state government. We must call them. We must tell them the truth, because many of them, they don't know the truth. They don't know about this absolute terrible and corrupt proposal. And it is our job as United States citizens to tell them, to warn them, to tell them the truth. And then secondly, we should continue to pray for our leaders. We should continue to pray for our country, that America will turn back to God. Because if America forgets, if America loses those founding moral and biblical Judaic-Christian principles that our country was founded on, if we forget that, if we reject that as a nation, our America will fall. And we are already seeing the consequences of us forgetting and of us running away from those Judaic-Christian moral principles. So again, this is completely dangerous. This is completely unconstitutional. And this proposal would give the IRS the ability to look into the average day Americans, practically every American's bank accounts. It is a huge power grab, and it is unacceptable. And we can stop it. We can stop it if you will join the fight, if you will join the battle for truth. So please make sure, if you're new here, please make sure to subscribe us to join the battle for truth in our culture. And also, please make sure to share this with others, so others can be aware, so you can be aware to help of the legislation, of the terrible legislation that is trying to be passed in not only the federal government, but also in many of the state houses across our nation. And please make sure to leave a like and share this with your friends. And please make sure to comment down below with any questions that you have. And also make sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms so you can join the fight for truth.